There we go. Interesting. All right, we'll move destination. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Well, we'll just have to do it this way today. Cool. All right, you guys, we are finally live with Ricky and Allison, and we'll try and squeeze these guys in. Do I stink that bad, you guys? Really? So, but Danielle is going to be joining us here shortly, hopefully, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what we experienced today with the horses. So, I'd love to hear from both you guys. And Danielle, I know, is going to have some questions about what you guys have learned. So, perfect. Let me go make sure I'm live on the Instagram. There, and I got a little hand. And yay! All right, we're live. Now, the new Facebook rules have caused us to have more fun with technology, but we are here for Free Coaching Friday. Daniela, what's going on?
Oh, I'm just living the dream over here. It's a sunny day, and there's minimal conditions occurring on my property. So I'm feeling good in the neighborhood and curious, so curious to hear how you guys are doing over there.
Yeah, well, I'll let you guys take it away. Like what we got a little bit of a later start this morning, which is typical on day one. But we're here down in South Florida, Zenerjen in West Palm Beach, and we're here for not my regular women's retreat, but we're here for our horsemanship certification retreat through Zenerjen. It's that part of one of the new programs that there's been enough demand for that I'm like, okay, we've got to do this. So Ricky is here on my whatever side you guys would think this would be on if you're watching, because it's always weird and mirrored. But and then I have Allison here as well, experiencing this. So we've been playing with the horses this morning. Who did we play with? We played with kind of everybody already, didn't we?
Not Dante enough.
Oh yes,
Not
Dante enough.
Neglected.
Yes.
Well,
So
I want to say too, for everyone watching, Ricky, her Snow and Troy, who are on my property, are Ricky's horses who, she's boarding them here. So for any of you who have been seeing these new characters hanging around, Ricky's their owner, their mom. And so I want to hear from you, obviously, right away, like how it's been so far this morning and what was like the biggest takeaway from just this morning's experience.
Yeah, it was super short session.
Yeah. So we were working with Bella earlier, and I was kind of doing what I will be doing with Snow, which is like doing the very slow and just the friendly game stuff. And it's interesting because I think the thing that I took away the most is like that knowing when to like pause and step back, and not to be like, oh, she's responding, so let me go further. It's like, okay, she's responding, now let me pull back. And that is something that is like, okay, I have to like retrain a muscle in me for that.
Yeah. How interesting.
Yeah.
But how does it feel for you when you're like, oh, hi. And they're like,
Right.
You're like,
terrifying.
Whoa. You're like, get the garlic and the holy water.
That's funny because when I met you, usually I'm a hugger. I remember you put your hands out and I was like, okay, we're just going to shake hands. But it was funny when we were talking about personal space bubbles and like, Jen, you had us stand far apart. And now my personal space bubble is almost nothing. I've been a mom forever. So like you could have come up and hugged me until you started like dry humping my leg or something. Then I'd be like, but like when she got close to Ricky and it was kind of far and she was like, you're in my energy, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, especially because I'm a total Bella, if you can't guess within like 30 seconds. But like I would invade people's space like that. So it was interesting to see that reaction and then how you could draw that for Snow. Like her bubble is big.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't just go, and I think in.
Yeah. And I think the thing that like clicked for me too, because I was having such a hard time like figuring out Snow, even though she's like me. So it shouldn't have been this difficult. But like that when I was asking you about her, like she'll let me go super close to her and then she'll pin her ears back and then bug out. So, and that being like me, like I'll kind of allow people in when I should have told them to back away like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
And so she does that too. And now, first of all, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Because we're
always apologizing to our horses. Always.
because that is like something that I can relate to so much.
Sure.
And so yeah, like just that also really clicked for me.
Yeah, and what did we do really? We do a lot. Are you guys like, sweating balls and no.
A little. We're from up north.
Yeah.
We're here.
And let me give you a fair warning. Jen can stand out in that sun exerting energy for days on end. So if you are dying and she's not saying, "Hey, how you guys feeling? You okay in the sun?" You have my permission and hers as well to let her know, because she may not think about it because she has no problem with it. That's how I am. And I'll have to be like, I need a break. I'm going to pass out. And she's like,
oh, goes to the breakthrough. Keep going. Right. Oh my God. And you're like, Jen, it's not high school prom. I don't come that fast. So true. So true.
Wow.
So yeah. Welcome to our lives, ladies. We talk about all kinds of stuff on these lives every Friday. So, and I think it was really cool to watch, like Bella, because what we did was, we went to like, the whole point was we want to be able to do anything with our horses and not have them be worried about our intentions. And that goes for any relationship, professional or otherwise. Like, I would like to be able to be who I am and know that whatever the hug, in the dry hump of the leg is a friendly gesture. You know what I mean? And so, that's just Jen. She can bake in the sun. She has triumphs people as the new, it's the Southern handshake. So, but that's the whole point, is like, we want these horses and the people that we love and care about to be able to accept us for who we are, and also be able to be respectful enough of them that we show our intentions through our behavior in a way that they can respond to. And so we were out there like messing around, and I went underneath Trace. I crawled right between his legs, under his belly, and came out the other side, right? And then I was like, now, what other horses on this property could I do that with? Right? Not Bella,
No.
not Tuesday. I mean, it'd have to be like, I'd have to really be good at the limbo to get
Oh
under.
my God. I would be the most scared of Tuesday to even attempt that.
Yes.
Well, you were.
She'd be like, I got you right where I want you. Perfect.
They have history, man. These guys have history. So, but yeah, and we were like, all right, well, what would it look like if you did want to do it and the horse wasn't responding? I mean, I'm not telling, just disclaimer, I'm not telling people to go crawl under their horses. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what would it look like for your horse to trust you at that level, that you could be anywhere with your finger in their nose or their ear or in their sheath, or like, God forbid, you have some kind of health issue you need to take care of that's underneath their, what if Bella had a big gash where she wasn't comfortable with us touching, right? So we did this thing with the string, and I kind of put it all on the other side of her, like, kind of back and forth, just playing with touching both sides of her. And when I got back to like where her hind legs were, it tickled her a little bit and she got worried and walked away. And I'm like, there's a hole. Now, most of us would look at our problems or as like, oh God, I wish she was more calm. I wish wish she was better, instead of going, oh, wow, what a cool opportunity for me to practice my skills. What a cool opportunity to prove to her at a deeper level that she can trust me. And so by the end of it, what did we do next? Because then she was like not having any of it. And she was like walking around and forget you guys. Right? So then what did we do?
We sort of followed her around with the halter and the rope. And then if she let us go close enough, we could like pet her, even with the halter and the rope, like, this is okay. And she would walk away and we would like slowly follow. Everyone was super patient.
Yeah. And then Dante would kind of interrupt the process a bit and want to get involved.
Yep. Which was a great opportunity to show Bella that it isn't just about her. We're not there to get her goodies, that we're just here petting horses. And, oh, well, Dante says it's okay. Then those two are kind of bonded. So she relaxed a little once we weren't doing things to him. Now, just so you guys get a little bit background on Bella's history, she was at a rescue for a while, and I got her, I think she was about 4 when I got her. And I've had all my horses since they were 4 through, except Maverick. Maverick, I got him when he was 14.
Okay.
But so she was young when she came to me, and I think that they underestimated her age. I think she was actually younger than what they originally thought, because when I got her, and I was like, people have been riding this poor animal. So she's a beautiful mover. I don't know if we can pull up any of the video from what we were doing, but she's a beautiful mover, and she really is very easy to play with. But if you are playing with her and you don't know what you're doing, then what's going to happen is you're going to teach her things about what it looks like. Let me see if I can do this. My technology so you can see. We'll see if this makes sense. Never mind. There we are. There we go. Let's see if I can share my screen, and I'll show you a little bit about what we did. I'm getting better at this, guys. How did you
I
share
think what
your
you guys were doing too, from what it sounds like, is actually going to be a great exercise, Ricky, for you with Snow, getting her more used to that halter and
Yeah.
being comfortable with you even holding it and realizing that it doesn't mean anything. Because right now she's got a belief system around what that halter means. So I think that's really great.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And that I think it's really powerful to be behind the. So talk a little, because Ricky played with her a little bit. Talk about how did it feel for you to be like behind her? Because at first you're like, are we just stalking her? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah,
little
because I wasn't
transformation.
sure if she was feeling stalked, like if
Mhm.
someone was just like kind of following her around, but then like it was like, oh, I'm just following her. Like the intention was just to kind of follow her, and I wasn't like
Chasing her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
key piece is that. And then what, like I took a little tiny twig and tossed it, and it touched like one of her tail hairs, and she turned around and looked at me. Like, why would that? Yeah, why did that make sense? Why did she do that, do you think? Because we're not chasing her, right? We're following her, getting in tune with her, connecting with her, being patient with her, and creating curiosity. You know, when I was a kid, we called it the hide you behind you game. And if you've ever had somebody stand directly behind you, like directly behind you, you're like,
That's a fun short person game to play with tall people.
Yeah.
I do it.
Peekaboo! I'm right back here.
back here. Yep. But
You
it
know.
created a curiosity. You know, and so what we're doing this weekend is going through, and because adults learn differently than kids, and we're going through and we teach in a way where you get information, we get some demonstrations. So I demonstrated what to do, and then we simulated it, right? And then we did some exploration, a guided exploration with it. So as we go into this afternoon, it's going to be really awesome to be able to play with these horses and look at it from a different perspective, right? And go, oh, we're not chasing, we're following. We're not pushing and pressuring, we're creating curiosity. Because a lot of times, especially if you've been in the horse world enough, you see round penning. You put them in a round pen and you basically run them until they look at you, you know, and that's called round penning. It's a term these days. And I'm not for it. I'm not for it. I think that there's a place to use that exercise as a training modality for like purity of gait and different things like that. But it is not the way to get them to want to be with you, because all you're doing when you round pen them till they have no choice but to look at you or keep moving, then you're creating Stockholm syndrome and learned helplessness in the horse. So I'm very careful. Like that time when I was first up with Scotty or with one of Daniela's horses, and it was like he needed to go 6 laps at the trot, and everybody was freaking out. Is she chasing that horse? Is she beating that horse? Is she forcing that horse? I'm like, dude, 6 laps in a 50-foot round corral is quick math, about 750 feet. That's it. 750 feet. And everybody's like,
Well, and that experience was very, very interesting too, because there were so many factors. Scotty has never, up until that point, had never really, I don't think, been asked to do anything like that. So he kept stopping before the 6 laps. Then we had like a crowd of people watching every move, right? Like they were like on the edge of their seat. And then as soon as we stopped, because you could feel everyone was like, oh my God. And so we stopped it. And when no one was paying attention, she asked him to do the 6 laps again. And he did it without without any issue. And it just goes to show you how the energy is so, especially with these animals, it's all about the energy. And I think even here, you know, Ricky, I've been thinking a lot about it, like the issues that were happening right away. I mean, since I've calmed myself down, everybody's been super calm. And, you know, I forget about how powerful it is. And when and like, if the horses are feeling it, people are feeling it too. They may not know what it is they're feeling. They may not be able to pinpoint it. But think about it. When you're sitting across from someone, you feel a certain way with that someone, whether it's anxious or it's comfortable or it's giddy or it's scared. People's energy, you feel it. It's just a matter of, are you aware of it? Can you pinpoint it? Do you notice how you feel around certain people? And then are you able to shift your energy? Like, you know, being able to match these horses' energy becomes super important too. Like to just be as chill and calm as they are when they're grazing and they feel safe and they're comfortable. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me. It really doesn't.
And look at like when we took Trace and Tuesday for a walk. Tell us about the trot, how it shifted from you dragging Trace down the road to he's trotting right along with you. That was really cool.
Yeah. Well, can I back that up
Please do.
just a tiny bit more? Because when I was down here in January and we were working with Trace, the difference in how he responded to me then versus now. And then this time I was more confident. So I would just pick up my energy and I would just start going. And then he was like, what? We're going to do this, right? So the difference between January and now in how I got him to respond to me was huge. But then it was like the first time we started trotting, he's like, why? What? You know, and then when I slowed down, he was like, why? What? And then we made a game of it. So we would go like 10 walks and then 5 strides of trotting and then see how quick we could get him to come back down off of trotting. So
yeah,
I'm sure he loved that.
The race to the mailbox.
Oh, that's
point
right.
Point
To the mailbox race. Yes. And I mean, they don't call it horse work. They call it horse play. You know, and when you look at it, it's like I always say it just kind of as in casual conversation, but we're going to go work with the horses. You know, well, we're actually going to go play with them. And what if you didn't go to work? What if you went to play? And what if you shifted the paradigm of what you looked at like as your work and made it a game and you gamified it? I remember when I was doing like network marketing and stuff, I turned it into a video game. I'm like, ooh, 100 phone calls, you know? I mean, come on, who has not played a video game? If you're a gamer, and I am, and I have sat there for hours trying to beat the lightning strike thing 200 times, you know, for hours in the game to get the thing that doesn't even have any tangible, you know, what's the value in that? It's that feeling that you get because we only do things to get a certain feeling or to elicit a certain behavior so we can have a certain feeling. That's the only reason we do anything. So if we can gamify it and put it in a way that the horse understands, that who was asking me earlier that it was like, well, what is that? It was we were like, you will know, and it will feel so good. And I was talking to a friend of mine who's a golfer.
You will know what? What will you know?
That they're in tune. That they're listening to you, that they're going to pick up that trot stride, that they're listening to your thoughts. Like when I remember when I first started in horses, I was like, I want to be so good with horses. I want when I think it, they're doing it. You know, when I dream it, it happens. And you know, that's the truth. So what do you have to do? And we said it earlier, we got to set up the situation. You have to set up the circumstance such to where the actual obvious answer is what you want. And that goes in sales. You're making a ridiculous offer that is so incredible that people would feel stupid. It would be absurd to say no to it, right? And we're doing the same things with the horses. And we're always, as leaders of them and stewards of their care, looking for opportunities to create an environment where their answer is true, false, yes, no. And the yes is so easy. You go to a Tony Robbins event, they have this big thing called the wheel, and they give away prizes. They give away like Harley Davidson and all kinds of stuff. And you get up there and you get on stage and you're so excited, and you've got all the people watching you do your 6 laps. And so they ask a really absurd question where the answer is C. You know, is it A, you know, fly to Mars? Is it B, you do, you know, eat a banana? Or is it C, you know? So that's just setting up the circumstance so the horse knows to pick C. The horse knows and is so confident. And our job as their leaders and caregivers is to set up the circumstance to where they don't feel like they're being pushed too far outside of what their learning is, their comfort zone is, or their ability to accept who we are is. And they feel successful. How successful did Trace feel doing that 10-5-10 game?
Oh, I think very.
Yeah, and he picked it up. How fast did he pick it up?
Super fast.
Yeah, and we just made it up on the fly, you guys. Same thing with Tuesday. All you had to do was bring your energy up. And if she wasn't tuning into that because you got adrenal fatigue, then you can just use support your idea. Oh, that's what you wanted. That's easy. I can do that. Because this is the thing as a leader, and this is one of the things we're going to work on with Bella throughout the weekend, is now we know that there's a no. She's picking the wrong answer, right? To connect with us and have a healthy experience with her humans. She's like, I'm going to walk away. I got to trust Mother Nature. I have to trust my instincts at the moment. I can't trust you right now. So we have a great opportunity to build that with her and get a yes answer.
Do you think that, to your point of, you know, building that trust with them and everything, like with Bella, do you think her response would have been different if she had spent some time with these two beforehand? Like if they'd been there, let's say for days, just hanging out with her in the fields, do you think that she would it have made a difference? I'm curious in terms of her. Yeah.
Even though it was me.
Yeah, I was just saying.
It was me with the string that touched her underneath her back legs. And it wasn't even that big of a thing in our eyes, you know? And this is where you have to be really careful about saying, you know, if you've ever had someone go, oh, you're being too sensitive, you know, no, I'm trusting my instincts because you haven't proved to me that I need to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm being sensitive and responding the way I'm responding, because I don't trust myself enough to know how to have discernment over who to trust and at what level.
And you could see that on her face. The trusting.
Yes. She was like, Who's coming? Yeah. And she got really worried and started walking away until we built that confidence back. And that's where you end it. And to your point, you know, Ricky, you were saying, you know, lean out when it feels good. You know, that's when it feels good. And I remember when especially back in the day, I don't do this anymore, but when I would make a sales call and somebody would be like, sure, this sounds great. And they would click the link or they would buy. I'd be like, okay, gotta go buy. Like, hurry up and get off the phone before they change their mind, you know?
Well, it's like dating too.
Yeah.
Like it was going good. You want to hang out with them all the time, but if you hang out with them all the time, it's like burns, right? And then it's over. But if you just like little bit and then like, oh, I'm going to Florida, I won't be able to see you for 4 days.
Yeah.
Then, it's that like.
It's the dance.
It is. Yeah.
It is the dance.
Well, and I also think there's a feel to that too, right? Because it's not the same for everyone all the time, every place, everywhere. Because dating, especially, I mean, I know people who met on the first date, had sex, spent every minute together, and now they're married. And I know other people complete opposite. So it's like you just don't know, and you can't set that expectation until you spend time and feel it out too. I think that's a huge, huge piece of this, because even with the horses, Bella's not going to respond that way tomorrow. You don't know how she's going to respond. You got to just show up and put your ideas away and be able to just expect the unexpected and be okay with whatever shows up. So,
Absolutely.
there is so much to this, and it's not black and white at all. There is a ton of gray areas, and there's shades of gray I didn't even know existed. So this is like this kind of stuff, man. It gets you. It makes you, but like you become so much more resilient as a result. You become so much more aware as a result. You become so much more confident as a result. I mean, this horsemanship is so amazing. And I don't even do it to the level that Jen does it, right? She said to me in the very beginning, do you want to be good with horses or do you want to be a horseman? Because there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be a horseman woman. It's too much for me. It's too much, but I am good with horses, and I will continue to build on being good with horses just to give my guys a quality existence, to give anyone who comes here a quality experience. But am I going to take these horses to the Olympics or go, jumping or doing anything that requires a serious level of like commitment in terms of that relationship? I'm good with the relationship that I have with them. And, but even that, there's always room for growth, even on that simple scale. So there's just so much.
And that's a really good point. And anybody that's watching this, please do not think that you have to be like this Olympic, I can ride through the mountains of Patagonia on a donkey blindfolded kind of thing to be to take this journey. It is your own sovereign journey, and to whatever level you would want to do it. And to Daniela's point, it is always simple things done well. Michael Jordan did not become the master of his craft by doing fancy stuff in the beginning. He got the fundamentals. Fundamentals and foundation work is my bread and butter, because everything stems from that. If you want to do a canter pirouette, get really good at circles, get really good at transitions, get really good at backing up, and this goes to anything you would do in life ever, period. You want to be a millionaire? Get really good at making sales calls, get really good at building teams, get really good at knowing who to hire for what and how to, intentionally procrastinate. All of it goes back to the fundamentals, and the fundamentals boil down to, you can't do it alone. You got to learn how to build relationships. And I know one of the coolest ways to learn how to build relationships with people is to learn how to build a relationship with a horse. Because these guys will teach you so much. So what are some of the things you guys learned from this morning session already? Well, you were saying like when to lean in and when to lean out, like having discernment. That's huge.
Yeah. And I honestly, the difference between January and now is that I'm just like letting my energy go instead of being like, is it okay if I bring some energy up and then we go for a little trot?
Yeah.
Because before I'd be like, we're going to race to that mailbox. And now I'm like, we're going to race to the mailbox. Or I'd sing a little song. What did I sing when we played a little leapfrog too? We'd let Tuesday go in front and then we go in the front. Oh, I was like, we're not going to take it.
And that's so great for Trace, because he loves to have fun. Like once he's there, oh my gosh, what else? That's like Scotty. Scotty's the same way. Yeah, that's awesome.
Right. And that's, Ricky was asking about the archetypes, and Trace is the magician. It has to be fun or he is not going to do it, or if he does it, he's going to do it with a really crappy attitude. Like you're dragging a husband a Yankee Candle.
Yes. Well, they were funny this morning before you came out. I went out early before Jen. I didn't know she was out there or not. And so we're waiting to feed and everyone's like, hey, where's our breakfast? We're starving. We never had breakfast before. So I was like, where's Bella? And I went around behind the barn and Maverick followed me, and then Dante followed me, and then Trace followed me. And we went all the way behind the barn. And then I just was like, we're like in a parade. Let's just do this. I'm going to see how far these horses are going to follow me. So I'm going like in between the trees. And then finally Trace just dropped out. He's like, what? Why? I had all of them, like Bella, Tuesday, everybody's in a row. And Trace is just like, after a minute, he's like,
Yeah.
Please, this is not
No.
a thing.
He's like, the food's in this direction. You're going the wrong way, girl. That's so funny.
You're making this game up and changing the rules so you always win. I'm out. That's
He
you
was.
know.
And he just didn't play.
That's
We
right.
passed him and he's like, fine.
Yeah, it was like Joey off of Friends playing the game of cups. Just making up the rules as they go along, and that's so interesting. But once they understand the rules of engagement, they're in. They'll do it. They'll do anything you ask them to do. Now, here's the thing with that: when you get something into a place and you get them, this is a massive responsibility, and this is where people fall into victim narcissist crap all the time. Is when you get into a place where you know you can influence someone. You have a huge responsibility to have stewardship of that influence. Yeah, that's so important because it's very easy, especially with horses, because they are very trusting and, giving animals when you get around them sometimes, and they'll do it. You can manipulate them and they'll do it. But again, you're creating Stockholm syndrome for the relationship you have with the horse. Now, I'm not saying there's not times when you have to get across the bridge, like there's those got to situations. But at the same time, we try and put ourselves in a position where we are setting up the circumstance and the situation and the environment that it is for the horse, not to the horse. And it's for the relationship, not for our egos. Yeah. And in the meantime, having a blast doing it. One of the conversations we had earlier was like, we were talking about painting the horses, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's so fun. Danielle even has my decorating kit, like they're cakes or something, right? But at the same time, it's like, hey Joe, it's really important to know that this can and it must be fun. Lack of funds, and you'll look up in the backyard, you'll see all that money going towards something you're not having fun doing. That's going to create resentment. Same thing from the horse's perspective. If every time they see you're manipulating them into doing something, they'll maybe do it because horses are just benevolent that way, but they ain't going to like you so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's if you can make things fun, I mean, and that too is, that energy that's infectious, right? Like when someone's laughing and you don't know what they're laughing about, but they keep laughing, and then you start laughing too. You don't even know what you're laughing at. And that is fun, right? Have you ever tried that? Have you ever just started laughing maniacally?
Yesterday, I was in the Publix parking lot and you and I were cracking up about something. I don't even remember what. I was dying laughing walking into the grocery store, and this woman's coming out. She had a peach colored top on. She was looking at me, and then she was like, and then by the time she passed me with her shopping cart, she was laughing.
I'm saying, right? So it's like, if you can bring that really to anything, because I think a lot of times, and not to go down this rabbit hole too far, but a lot of times a lot of people are so serious in everything that they're doing. So serious. And it's like, after, that's not the two elder ladies at the horse farm here are slowly learning to trust me, but still get startled. I'm going to get permission from the owner to enter their space and connect more properly. Oh, that's awesome, Joe. I'm sure that'll be fun too. He's right next to some beautiful horses. But what I was saying is that being able to bring a lightheartedness to everything we do, everything is not so serious. Even the most serious things, if you think about it, are not that serious, because if you knew you were going to die tomorrow, would anything today that's making you crazy really be that important?
Right.
It just wouldn't, right? Like, so if you can bring that to everything, and I have to remind myself too, because we are all human and we do all the things and whatever, and it's okay. But like, just remember that it has to be fun. I mean, sometimes I put my earbuds in, I listen to funky music while I'm handling manure, and I'm making it fun, because otherwise that could really drive me crazy. Just handling manure on a regular basis. So
I think that's the thing. That's one of the things my mentor said. It's like, some people can drive any horse crazy. I mean, remember me telling you about those people that were here that driving Trace crazy so bad that he attacked Tuesday. You know, it got bad. And so could somebody go and really turn Trace into a piece of crap horse? Yeah, they totally could. It would take a lot because he has a lot of great foundation, but that you could take my horses and get them looking like your horse in about 5 minutes. And I could take your horse and get it looking like mine in about 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just really, it is about having that proximity to the people that you want to, and individuals that you want to hang out with. And you want to, so you don't put yourself in a position where you are being driven crazy or you're driving your horse crazy. So, and the definition of fun is different for all the different personality types too. Bella's version of fun ain't the same as Trace's. It's not the same. They might even be doing the exact same thing, trotting in a circle, for instance. And Trace will be having fun for a different reason than Bella is. Trace is having fun because we're making the circles about where he's putting his left front foot at the 12 o'clock mark. Bella looks at circles and are they're fun because she can relax and trust that you're not going to do anything crazy. And then her confidence gets up. And so she can do more and offer more and be more open. And everybody else's, and Dante and Mavericks are different too.
So what I want to know is, when are you going to play with Dante?
If we don't play with Dante this afternoon, he's going to implode.
He's next. He has to. He's going to play with me. She's like, who are we going to play with today? And then
Trace.
Dante came running up.
Yes, he was like, pick me. Yeah, totally, exactly. And they were like, sorry, we're taking Trace. And he was like, he looked like a little kid who stole his ice cream.
And then he followed us to the edge.
Yes, and he was like, but what about me? And yeah, so it's going to be Dante this afternoon for sure.
Awesome. Well, I think I wish I was there. I'm a little jealous, but it's all good. I'm having my own fun. I'm having my own fun too. Okay. And, but I can't wait to hear how the rest of it goes. And I hope you guys have a ton of fun this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, and the rest of the weekend. And
lots planned, lots in store. Very good. All right, ladies and gents, thanks for tuning in for our Free Coaching Friday. In the comments, I have my self-discovery challenge starting on Monday at the 11 o'clock hour. I'm very excited about that. It's going to go Monday through Friday. For the week, you're going to learn about each one of the personality types at a little deeper level. And then I'll have an opportunity to come and be a part of one of my masterminds, or even come and work with the horses in person, like these two ladies have the opportunity to. Yay! So that's coming up very soon. I will post the way you can register for that in the comments. And if you have any questions about what we're up to, either in New York or in Florida, make sure you're reaching out and following us on all the social media channels so you can catch us on Free Coaching Friday at the 1 o'clock hour every Friday afternoons. So thanks for tuning in. And remember to believe in yourself. It will change your life.